Welcome to episode 4 of the I Rock Kentucky Blue podcast. My name is Rich the Bull. And let me tell y'all something. I'm recording right now, right after the biggest game of our season. I normally record on Sundays, but I'm so hyped right now, bruh. I'm going ahead and get this out the way. So, first I want to talk about the bad. We played South Carolina Tuesday. And we was without Jacob Toppin, and Casey Wallace got hurt early in the first half. Still no excuse. We lost to South Carolina 71-68. Michi Johnson, who shoots 30% from three, had 26 points and hit 6 threes, 6 from 10. He shot 60%. A lot of those threes was from Steph Curry range. So when you feeling it, you feeling it. And then even a kid, I forgot his first name, but his last name is Brown. He hit a three, 20% from three. So I'm like, all right, bro, like they really like knocking down shots. This is a game where they either exploiting our defense even more or they just hitting everything. And I think it was a little bit of both. On our side, Oscar had 19 and 12. He was probably the best player on the court Tuesday. And then we had 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists from Saber Wheeler, who played 40 minutes. He played the whole game. Crucial turnover at the end. He drove to the hole and tried to kick it out for the three. I believe it was to CJ Frederick, and the ball was cut off. And even then, we still had a chance to win the game. On the inbound play, the ball bounced off of Michi Johnson's hands and went out of bounds. And we got the possession, and they ran a screen for CJ, who got a good look. The ball bounced off, and Oscar rebounded the ball. And in my opinion, because I believe there was 9 seconds left, like you can go straight up and then foul. Instead, he was looking for somebody on the outside to shoot another three. So we ended up throwing it out to Reeves, who missed, and then Oscar got the rebound again, threw it out, and it wasn't in time. So we ended up losing by 3. Kaysen, like I said, he left early. He had 4 points. He had lower back soreness, back spasms. Antonio Reeves continued his trending up. He had 13 points. CJ Frederick, in his first game back, had 14. Both of the shooters that we were going to depend on this year started to show up Tuesday with CJ Frederick and Antonio Reeves. So at that point, when the game was over, oh man, all hell broke loose on the internet. All hell broke loose on Twitter. And yeah, everybody was calling for Cal to get fired. There was a lot of reports. Kyle Tucker posted or made an article talking about the rift between Kyle and Mitch Barnhart, our AD, about how Kyle had to like raise $30 million from former UK players who are now in the NBA to try to build a new practice facility, and that was turned down by Mitch Barnhart. He tried to stop Cal from apologizing to Mark Stoops about when Cal said the Kentucky's a basketball school comment. So, like, it was for our fan base and for our team, it was a when it rains, it pours situation. We lost to a bad team at Rupp and stopped our home losing streak. Cal was starting to he wasn't starting. He continued to get blamed for this season. And then on top of that, we hear all this chatter about him and Mitch Barnhart. Also, the Cal to Texas rumor started to pick up because Texas fired their coach, Chris Beard. And there was a sign by a fan, which I think is disgusting, bro. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, if you rocking UK, you rocking UK. So to make a sign in the crowd and say, Cal, go to Texas. And then he got ejected. And I seen people in the Beyond the Sports, Beyond the Game group say, or ask why he got ejected. But the thing is, like, they asked, bro, for the sign, and he was like, no. So, like, he was obviously going to put it up again after they told him not to. Like, bro, we don't need that negative, especially at this point in the season. Regardless of what we are record-wise, regardless of how the team is playing, bro, if you a fan, bro, you root for your team. I'm a Giants fan, bro, in football, and we hadn't made the playoffs since 2016, bro. And I cheered and defended my team every year. And we had bad coaching. We've had bad GMs. We had some bad players. We've had some bad losses, bad play, and I still stuck by my team. And I do the same thing with Kentucky, bro. Like, loyalty in a fan base is key for a team. Players love to see that. And I just didn't think it was cool. But yeah, so all of that chatter went around, and then, I always ask the same question. I'm going to ask it every pod for everybody who wants Cal to leave. Who are you going to replace him with? I was talking to a partner last night about coaches who are highly regarded and how many championships they got. Coach K had 5 championships in there. I think it was in like 40-something seasons. So it was like one every 10 years. And then Dean Smith, I think he had 2 or 3 in 20-some years. The point is, a lot of the coaches, even Jay Wright, he had like two championships in like over 20 years. So it's like a every 10, 11-year thing. Any coach you get, bro, you're not gonna win unless you get John Wooden. I forgot how to pronounce his last name, but bro had like 10 championships, and he had 7 straight. Like, bro, that's unheard of. He's a GOAT, bro. Unless you get a John Wooden, I don't know who you're replacing Cal with. He kind of on pace with all them other coaches, especially if we have this recruiting class come in next year and we win a ship. So, anyways, so that was a South Carolina game, and then the next game I won't go into because I want to. That's all the negativity I'm gonna have this pod. Like I said, I'm recording right after the Tennessee game, so let's go to the Tennessee game. We was severe underdogs. I think they had us at 13.5 points favorites for Tennessee. So that was kind of crazy, but I get it. We ended up going in there despite the horrible officiating. We knocked out Tennessee 63-56. And in this game, the lineup that my man Bravo gave us in the second pod, and the lineup that some of the fan base has been screaming for, I call it the death lineup of Casey Wallace, CJ Frederick, Antonio Reeves, Jacob Toppin, and Oscar Sheboy. When them boys got on the court, the game changed. So let me just give you some stats. Oscar had a really good game against a 7-footer. He had 15 and 13. CJ had 13 points. He had a big first half, 10 points in the first half. He was 3 from 9 from 3, 13 points. And then Antonio Reeves had 18. He's continuing his stellar play. He had 18 points. He was key. He was key for us, especially like Kaysen got in foul trouble, and he came in with Livingston, who I know the stats don't show. He had 6 and 4, but Livingston was very physical. Like, he played really good basketball today. Everybody, even Aduthiero, like, he came in, he hit 4 free throws, but he gave us some quality minutes. Like, we shot 93% from free throw line. Let me double check this, man. We shot 22 of 25, and we shot 88% from free throw line. We would have been in the 90s, but Oscar missed his typical free throw, went 1 for 2. But that's the best free throw shooting that we've had all season. And if that continues, game time. Lance Ware, he kind of came in an enforcer role because they 7-footer, man. I forgot, Uso, however you say his first name, Pesos, Plasvics. That dude tried to come in and be like, he pulled Casey Wallace down. He pushing people. He tried to be physical. Lance came in and was like, what you gonna do? I loved it, bro. The referees in this game were atrocious, and I want to talk about it. They called a silly travel on Casey Wallace, who took 2 steps. And the key part of the game, the 7-footer, like I said, he was pushing Oscar down. He grabbed Casey, that Vescovi cat flopping. They called a flagrant 1 on Reeves when Vescovi wasn't even in legal defensive position to begin with, and Reeves is driving. They try to say it wasn't a basketball play. I beg to differ, and that's not me being biased. A lot of the calls, man, that you can see it. You can go on Twitter and see. I don't know what was going on with the referees, bruh. It was a lot of home cooking though, and I'm glad we came out. This was a big win for us. I think this could turn around our season. I think this raised our morale a little bit, despite the loss to South Carolina. I think that that lineup, the death lineup, should get a lot more play. I wouldn't be obliged to Xavier Wheeler coming off the bench moving forward and just running with that lineup. Even if you start Chris Livingston to start the game, give him a little burn, get his confidence up, and then take him out and put Reeves in and run that lineup, would be dangerous, man. So I credit Kyle for finally like realizing this is the lineup. But at the same time, CJ Frederick's been out for a little bit. So you really couldn't deploy the lineup. He just came back. And a lot of us was down on CJ Frederick. So, I mean, I don't know if that lineup would have been in people's minds before he got hurt. But then, once he started coming back, they realized that, we might need him to get the confidence up. And a lot of people was talking about bringing that lineup out. So again, big win for us, man. I love the play. I love the way we played, man. We fought. We started down 8-0. And once we turned it on, bro, I think we was down in the second half, like just for a little bit by a point or two. Everybody just came in and played. I loved our bench standing up and supporting, man, because another rumor that was going around is that two of our leaders have beef from last season. And it was rumored to be Xavier and Oscar. I don't want to get all into that because what I seen today was a team camaraderie. I seen people cheering. I seen people rooting their players on. And I loved Tyler Ewis on the bench, coaching his point guards up, coaching Case and Wallace up. I think he's going to be a big get for us as far as helping out our point guards. So salute to Tyler Ewis, man. I'm glad that you're doing well after that, bad wreck that you had. And I think you're going to bring a lot of knowledge to us. So there's the two games. Like I said, I'm pretty hyped, man. Y'all should have heard me over here. I was going crazy. I'm in the house by myself, so I'm coaching on the sidelines. But let's go, man. Let's keep the momentum up, and let's deploy that lineup, and let's keep getting the confidence up.
Hey man, what's up? What's happening? Dig this and check this out. If you like myself and you are tired of listening to the same old boring sports podcast, talking about the same old boring things, tired of watching the same old sports talk shows, talk about the same old sports topics, then you need to download the Beyond the Game podcast, where we have an assortment of shows talking about an array of topics and nothing is off limits. If you like the NFL, we got you covered with that with our NFL Fantasy Football podcast. If the NBA is your flavor, then make sure you check out our NBA Weekly Recap show every single week, hosted by myself, KJ, and my boy Ralph. If you like particular teams, we got you covered with that as well, as we have my boy Don J coming through with his The Heels Have Eyes podcast, a podcast about all things North Carolina related. But BBN, don't fret, we got you covered with that, because we have my boy Rick the Bull teaming up with Bravo to bring you their UK Weekly podcast about all things University of Kentucky related. And just added to the slate, we have the Philadelphia Eagles podcast hosted by my boys Drew and Don J. But hey, check this out. If you want to sit down and watch us, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the podcast on the YouTube channel KY Beyond the Game. But anyways, that's enough taking up your time. Let's get back to the show and see what they talking about.
So a couple topics I want to get into. The first one is Antonio Reeves getting his swagger back? And from what you just heard me say, I'm saying yes. He was averaging 16 and a half going into this game, and then he came out and did his thing this game as well, scoring 18 points, and he's probably our best free throw shooter. So I think he had. I always said he had to try to figure out his fit with the team, and I think he's starting to really figure it out. He's starting to get his stroke back with the threes. I still hate the floaters, but he's starting to be more aggressive, going to the rack and using his body, getting the body contact. So I believe he's getting his swagger back. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments once this pod drops. if y'all agree or if y'all disagree with Reeves getting his swagger back. But I love it for the kid, man. This is what he wanted to do when he transferred to UK, and I'm glad he's doing it. So shout out to him. My next topic is, since CJ Frederick has came back from his injury, he has been big for us. He has been hitting threes. And I know it's been a short sample. It's only 2 games. But the 2 games we've seen, he has played a lot better than what he has played in previous games against the big teams. Like, he's finally showing up against the big teams. So his 3-point shooting, he hit a lot of mid-range. That's another thing South Carolina was doing, was running us off the 3-point line. So there was a lot of mid-range jump shots that were getting hit by Reeves and CJ in that game instead of threes. But CJ, you know, he took what was given to him and he was hitting them. He was knocking them down. He was going to the paint. He's shooting it. He's hitting his free throws. So he's been big for us, and I like him being inserted in the starting lineup. He brings that leadership, and he's starting to get his confidence, and I love it. We need him. We need him for the SEC play, man. He's probably our best shooter, and I want him to keep going. We go as he goes. He's not our best player, but he's our best 3-point shooter, so we go as he goes. So keep going, keep building your confidence. I love it, man. I love it. And then my last topic, I've been real critical on Oscar. I don't think Oscar has been Oscar of last year. I think he's regressed a little bit, but his play against these bigs the last 2 games, I think he's starting to be more physical and holding his own. He had a really good game against that 7-footer today against in Tennessee. He stepped back. He hit a couple mid-ranges. He got a lot of rebounds. He needs to work on his post move still. He gets the ball sometimes and just turns around and throws it up without looking at what he's throwing at. But he has played really well the last 2 games. He's starting to look like himself, and he's doing it against bigger players. So I definitely love what he's bringing to the team right now. I even like him calling out his team and saying, like, if we have to put some walk-ons on the court, I just want to see some players who fight. And people took that the wrong way, but at the same time, as the leader of the team, you call your team out. And that's what he did. So I just want him to continue to be physical. He's undersized against the 7-footers, obviously, but if he continues to be physical, if he continues to fight and just step out, he needs to step out a little bit and hit those mid-ranges. He did it against South Carolina too. He could really help this team out. So I hope that continues. The thing is, he's not going to play 7-footers every game. So when he doesn't, he has to take advantage of that and keep building on it. The 3 players I just named, man, they just need to keep building. Reeves, Frederick, and Oscar. And then another player I want to talk about is Cason Wallace. He left the South Carolina game with back issues. And I at first was a little iffy just because the state of our team at the moment was really bad. And from what I heard, like from what I seen, he had just picked his warm-ups up and walked off the court. So I was thinking he was mad because Cal took him out. And, you know, the way the team was playing. So I thought it was bigger than what it was, but it ended up being his back. And then it kind of showed because in this game, you didn't see the explosiveness. He wasn't quick with his decisions. He had 0 points. And I've said the whole season that Cason Wallace is the best player on our team. And he can be great. So I don't know if his back's holding him down because they did have a shot of him in the tunnel trying to do stretches and just keeping his back loose. I hope it doesn't turn into a lingering issue because we're going to need him down this stretch. We still got to get in the tournament. So we need him down this stretch. So I hope that he's healing. His back is healing and he gets some of the explosiveness back. So after talking about all of that, I want to preview the next 2 games. And both of these games are winnable. We play Georgia at the crib at 9:00 Tuesday on ESPN. We got a lot of ESPN games this year. And then we play A&M Saturday at 2. The Georgia game, I think coming off of a loss at home, breaking our home losing streak, and the momentum from the Tennessee game, I think we're going to come out and thrash Georgia. I think we're going to win by double digits. And I think that Reeves and CJ is going to continue to get more confidence. I think Reeves might go for like 24 this game. And Oscar's going to build on his performance. I think we'll have Wheeler back. But like I said, I hope Kyle doesn't start Wheeler. I hope he comes off the bench. I think he could lead that second unit. And I hope he plays a Thiero as well. So I think we're going to thrash Georgia. It's at home, like I said. And then the A&M game, A&M's not as bad as their record shows. Well, they have the same record as us, so it's not, I wouldn't even say they're bad. But I know they just knocked off somebody. They beat Missouri by 18, and it was at A&M. But they're playing us at the crib too. I think that we beat A&M by double digits as well. I see a 4-game winning streak after this Tennessee game. We beat Tennessee. Then we got Georgia, A&M, and then Vandy. So that's 3 more before our big game in Kansas, who I said on the pod last week that we was going to knock Kansas off. I said in January we was either going to go 7-0, 6-1, and 5-2, or 5-2. I think 6-1 is very doable because after that we got Ole Miss. So we could go on a little run, keep the momentum up. As I always say, stick with your team, stick with us. I love Kyle's halftime speech where he was talking about, the players didn't hit shots at the beginning. And, I told them to come over. When they came over, I was like, hey, we're not going to hit every shot. Keep shooting. And they kept shooting. He was like, we're going to have bloody mouths, which Kaysen had. He was like, they won't play physical. And I know my team can play physical. And that's exactly what we did. Like I said, I love my coach. I love Cal. I don't want Cal to go anywhere. And this is a big win for us. This could be a big turning point. We just got to keep the momentum going. I didn't think I would be talking like this about my team at this point in the season. I thought we would be running away with it. But things happen. Injuries happen. Chemistry issues. So hopefully that's in our rear view as we go into February. So, like I said, I love what's been going on, and we're gonna be good to go, man. I think so. I think this is the run we need. But anyway, before I get off here, I want to thank Q and the Beyond the Game team as always. I really appreciate some of the feedback that I got in the comments. I'm not gonna be perfect on this pod, so I definitely like when y'all come in there and say things when y'all give y'all opinion. And sometimes, I'm going to agree with you all and take back some of the comments I made because I can admit when I'm wrong. So keep interacting. Let's get this thing going. And as I always said, if anybody wants to get on here and just be a guest or just come in for a segment and talk, give their opinion and bounce or whatever, holla at me. I'm gonna get you on this pod, Derek Stevenson. We're gonna get a pod going. We gotta have a conversation. We both kind of talk the same way, but I want to hear your input. And final thoughts, man. Final thoughts. So as the season goes on, our confidence is gonna get there. We might hit a rough patch again. I wouldn't say a 1 or 2 game losing or 2 or 3 game losing streak. We might lose a game that we might supposed to win. But as long as we continue the momentum, there's going to be Kentucky is everybody's championship game. So you're going to have the Michi Johnsons come in and score 26 points and hit 6 threes when he only shoots 30%. We're going to have those games. Just watch the game in full. Watch every player. See what shots are being missed. See who's not getting back on defense. See who's going underneath screens instead of over top screens. See who's not going against or playing well with the pick and roll on defense. Look at all of those things and then ask yourself, is it a coaching issue all the time? Or is it just poor execution by the players sometimes? And I just want to be clear in my stance on this. Kyle's to blame for some stuff, but so are the players. we don't want to put all the blame on Kyle because we all watching the same product, right? So that's all I got. This is another episode of the I Rock Kentucky Blue podcast. I want to thank all of y'all for listening. My name is Rich the Bull, and I'm signing out. Peace.